I'm not sure how much you can tell, but it's a mess in here. So, as I continue on my progress here, I want to apologize in advance for that. But I know all of you will understand because this is a build in progress, which means there's going to be construction mess. There's just no way around it. So, anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and take advantage of this template that we made a little while back. I'm sure you remember it. Which means that I need to pick out a piece of plywood. And preferably one that is under 6 inches. Oh, you know what? That's right. These be 11.5 inches. So we'll do that. See, it's been so long since I've actually worked on this particular portion of my van, I couldn't even remember my own measurements. Alright, let's get to it. The width is almost perfect. I might have to trim down just a smidge. The only problem I have with this particular piece of plywood, which is why I was looking for another piece, but in all reality there's just not another one that's going to be this fit without purchasing more plywood. I'm trying to avoid that. So the only problem I have with this piece is the grain is going the wrong direction. It's going horizontally rather than vertically. Now, that's not necessarily an issue overall, because this wall here, the grain is also going horizontally, which the reason why is because I didn't care at the time because I was going to paint the walls, but now I'm not going to. So it's not a complete inconsistency that this grain is going horizontally. And the reason why I even care at all is because I want the grain to match the different directions that it goes. But this accident may actually end up working out really well. I'm not sure yet. So I'm just going to play it by ear. If it bugs me enough, I can always replace it. It's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to give it a try and see what happens. So what I'm going to do with the template here is align the top, which if you remember from the video where we made the template together, I mark the top of this template. And the idea of having the top marked is that's going to be our straight edge. As you can see, I'm going to be either clamping this template down, or I'm going to tape it down or something, but the idea, it's going to move, but whatever, is to trace all along the template where I'm going to take my jigsaw and cut along, because that's going to make the shape of the wall. So when I eventually take this piece and put up against the wall, it should be almost perfectly flush. Almost. Yeah. I'd like it to be 100%, but yeah. Maybe. We'll see. Not perfect, but see how well it works here. That's still a winner in my book. Basically, what I would want is, in order to attach this thing, which is going to be part of a shelf, which is going to be its own unit altogether, which will go right over here, but this will still have to attach to this, which means I need to actually build a a new piece for this right here, a new side, and I actually need to double it up in order to make measurements square. But this will actually attach to this and to the bed frame, but I'm going to actually have a frame for the mattress itself. So that's going to stick up about 6 inches, I think, if my measurements are correct. And that can either be a permanent thing that I will detach from the temporary solution and then later on add it to the permanent one, or it can just simply be a temporary frame. Again, I'm not sure. But in either case, whether it's going to be a permanent thing or a temporary thing, it needs to be installed before I can install the shelf that I'm building. But I will still continue building the shelf. It needs to be done regardless. And I've also decided that this shelf will have a built-in bench seat, which will house my propane tank. So it's also going to be a sealed propane tank box. And I've seen how some van dwellers have built their sealed propane tank, but I'm going to do mine slightly different. And it will not require too much caulking, if any at all. It might require some, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it being absolutely airtight because that's what a carbon monoxide detector is for anyway. And plus, you'd be able to smell the propane anyway. But I might make it airtight. I might not. Regardless, that's where the propane tank's going to go for ease of access. And I've got a pretty interesting design overall laid out. I might actually in a soon to come video just go over a drawing of some sort to give you an idea of what I have in mind for that propane tank. Because I think it's pretty interesting. I haven't seen anybody do something quite like this. I've seen a similar setup, but I've not seen a setup quite like it, and it resolves certain issues with long hoses and whatnot. And yeah, so I need to think about drawing something up so that way maybe you can benefit from it as well if you are in fact working on a van build as well. Anyway, I know, short video, didn't do a lot of work. It doesn't help that I worked 11 hours today, so I was already tired to begin with. But even if I want to do a temporary solution to this bed, I have a perfect piece that's going to fit all the way across. In fact, I even have to trim off a little bit, but I want to get it finished to the same color as this wall back here. And if I want to get that done, I also have to get that side insulated, and yes, I know I haven't even done that yet. I need to get that insulated and permanently mounted in place, never having to be concerned about it anymore. And then I've got to veneer it. Although veneering it's not necessarily as much of a priority, since it doesn't need to be veneered in order to mount it. I know, lots of little stuff, and I have to go with this complicated design. But you know, I know it's going to come. The end result's going to be worth it. It's complicated, and I'm just going with the flow on a lot of this stuff. But I know it's going to be enjoyable, and I just hope that all of you are enjoying this as well. So this is a lot of the stuff that I think about that I wasn't filming before. So now you're actually seeing me, you know, articulating all of this stuff prior, midway, and even after a lot of the stuff that I built. So that's that. Can't think of anything else that I need to mention. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. And maybe do some editing on some more videos that I still need to upload. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and stop now. So, thank you for watching. Take care. Love others as you love yourself. And I'll see you next time.